visual effects. Two simple words, but behind them lies over a century of imagination, invention, and illusion. They've brought dinosaurs back to life, launched spaceships into galaxies we've never seen, and turned ideas into entire worlds. Today we expect them, but once they were impossible, the result of trial, error, and a bit of movie magic. This is the story of how visual effects changed film forever, where it all began, and where it's headed next. Long before computers, early filmmakers used practical tricks and in-camera effects to create what felt like magic. One of the first was Georges Méliès. In 1902, his film A Trip to the Moon used double exposure, miniatures, and painted backdrops to show a rocket landing in the moon's eye. By the 1930s, effects artists expanded on these techniques. Norman Dorn developed glass matte paintings to create vast landscapes behind actors. The process involved painting scenery in precise detail on a sheet of glass, which was then positioned in front of the camera. Parts of the glass would be left clear to allow live action footage to show through, seamlessly blending painted environments with real sets. This technique remained essential for decades, and was used extensively in Star Wars to create massive hangars, alien landscapes, and the endless depths of the Death Star.
Shows the Millennium Falcon having landed at Cloud City, and you can see Cloud City in the background below the landing platform. In the clear area of glass, Han Solo comes out.
I'm a double-crossing, no-good swindler.
You got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled.
Track them.
Stop-motion animation also became a groundbreaking tool. In King Kong 1933, visual effects pioneer Willis O'Brien animated the giant ape one frame at a time using meticulously crafted armatures covered in rubber and fur. But what made King Kong truly revolutionary wasn't just the animation, it was how O'Brien integrated his creatures into live-action footage. He used a combination of rear projection and miniature sets, allowing animated models to appear alongside human actors. Rear projection involved filming the actors first, then projecting the footage onto a screen behind the miniature set. O'Brien would then animate the model in sync with the projection, creating the illusion that both existed in the same space, decades before digital compositing. Today, visual effects are entering a new era. Real-time rendering is changing how productions are made. On The Mandalorian, entire sets were replaced with massive LED walls powered by game engines like Unreal. Actors performed in front of digital environments that updated live with camera movement, blending physical and virtual worlds like never before.
The ability to shoot a 10-hour dawn is extraordinary. To shoot any sequence where you say, oh, this world's not quite right, let's just move it a little bit. An extraordinary number of benefits and advantages for shooting in that environment. It's mind-blowing what that tool is.
Artificial intelligence is also becoming more widely adopted, and with it, it's opening up innovative ways to create visual effects. Now, to understand how these changes are already shaping the industry, I spoke with Mike McGee, Chief Creative Officer at Framestore, one of the world's leading VFX studios. He explained how AI helped tackle a massive challenge on gravity, rendering realistic lighting in highly reflective environments.
But we've been using machine learning at Framestore for years. We've used it to help process renders quicker, because we often have some renders in the computers that use lighting. So, for example, on the film Gravity, there was a scene we set up, and to make it look realistic, when a ray of light hits the surface, it then bounces off that surface and then hits another surface and hits another surface. So if you imagine you're in a room of mirrors, or what, like you see at an amusement place. So on Gravity, where we had a silver spaceship in space with Sandra Bullock wearing a silver spacesuit with a glass visor, the amount of bounce light and reflection in that area was creating single frame renders of over 300 hours when we
For one
started.
frame?
For one frame.
Wow.
So we actually built a new rendering system. We bought a new rendering a new rendering a new way of rendering. So it's a completely new hardware and software solution, and then used machine learning to help reduce the render times on those processed layers, and we'd get those 300 hours down to, I think it was 2 or 3 hours a frame, which is still quite long, but not the hundreds of hours. One of our guys calculated actually when the film was made, because so much of it is computer generated, but with hours and hours, obviously, of computational processing. He calculated that if you wanted Gravity finished today and you processed it on one computer alone, you had to have started the render off in, was it 5000 BC?
And rendering isn't the only thing getting faster. Some of the more repetitive parts of VFX, like cutting out characters frame by frame, otherwise known as rotoscoping, are being automated as well.
I think certain parts of the VFX process will get replaced. So when we did the AHA video, and we also did when we first started the company, we did a Culture Club video where we drew around actresses from old black and white movies, just literally draw an outline around them, rotoscoping, lift them off the background, and then put them into the studio with Boy George. That kind of rotoscoping can now be automated with the AI tool.
As AI continues to evolve, some see it as a powerful tool for artists. Others warn about ethical concerns and the potential for deepfakes. What's certain is that the technology is advancing fast. At the same time, VFX is becoming more accessible. Free software like Blender allows indie creators and students to produce work once limited to major studios. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short documentary and came away with a new appreciation for the craft behind visual effects.